I think definitely it came down to environmental expectations. I felt as if everybody was just on a different wave from me. It's like the stereotypical boy thing. Everybody was listening to the hip hop and R&B. I was always listening to the pop music, and it's also, I think, it stemmed from the fear of being ostracized as a young kid. I'm already like the youngest. So, naturally I would want company or to, at that time, look up to the older ones as sources of like inspiration and stuff like that. But it just felt like innately wrong to follow what they were doing. So I think putting on the mask came from fear of being too ostracized or being too isolated as a kid. Yeah. Me by myself and hanging out with friends, it's very different from me when I have to go to work. I have to go into some kind of like heteronormative establishment for either to get service or just, I have to be there for a few hours. I would say that the mask I put on work to work is very like super professional. I don't allow a lot of my feminine or flamboyant mannerisms to show while I'm at work. It's very much delved down, very much suppressed. Um, Even in moments of like excitement, I have to monitor mentally how much I exude, any traces of femininity or what my reaction gives. So, as opposed to when I'm with friends or I feel like at ease and I could be like, yes, work, slay. To work, I'll be like, congrats. That's good. Keep it up. So definitely I do wear a mask at work, for sure. Colorism is a very like serious reality here, especially in the Bahamas. I definitely sometimes feel the need to, I guess, present myself in a certain way, especially if I'm in like academia spaces. Um, you know, as a black person or a young black person, I have to like show that I'm educated. I have to speak a certain way. I have to look a certain way. My hair can't look too wild, sometimes so I'll like pull it back or put it in one and just wear something that's a bit more tamed. In terms of like wearing masks around family and stuff like that, I think that's a day-to-day thing. The things that I would speak to with like friends, close other like queer friends, like my mental health, the troubles I'm having with dating, because like niggas suck. The troubles I'm having with dating, I can't talk to like say my brother or like one of my cousins about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because even especially like a lot of black family dynamics, and growing up in like a Judeo-Christian country, we aren't really taught to like speak about like what's bothering us mentally. You know what I mean? I feel like when I'm by myself, I have an opportunity to kind of reflect on the different masks that I guess, put on a day-to-day basis. I think when I'm by myself, that's an opportunity to demask in a sense. But in that demasking, you kind of realize that there is no one true self. There's just like a bunch of different facets of you. I feel as if, as non-normative queer people, while we spend our time here on Earth, we have two lives. The first life is when you start to form your mask. You see what draws negative attention and what behavior, mannerisms, idiosyncrasies, what draws negative intentions, how people may negatively react to that, and you know what not to do in order to, I guess, avoid bullying, avoid teasing, avoid isolation. Let's use a different word. That wasn't happening. Yeah, so I feel as if when I'm by myself, that's an opportunity to just look at the different masks I put on. Like I said, the during our first lives, we are putting on these different masks. We are owning or putting on these different identities to kind of appease those around us in the different settings, whether that's like a familial setting, as a social setting, in school, whatever it is. We're putting on masks to appease people, to not draw so much attention to ourselves, at least negative attention toward ourselves. And at some point we get to, well, not everybody, but hopefully, it is the hope that at some point we get to the second life while we're here on earth, which is the point where you unapologetically just start showing up as yourself, identifying as yourself. That doesn't necessarily mean like, letting everybody in on your personal business and stuff like that, but you are just more grounded in who you are and how you present, and you're not putting on masks to appease people, you're putting on masks to appease yourself. Yes, I do think that sometimes certain situation brings out certain sides of you that you may deem ugly. For example, I'm like currently in my life, I'm in a process of trying to be very honest with myself about how I feel, especially my emotions. Like if a situation pops up and I'm like really angry about it, like it brings out like a wrath, like a rage, like violence. I sometimes I try to skate around that and try to like avoid that and say that we're gonna deal with that later, or we're not going to. I'm not gonna allow myself to feel that emotion right now because it's not a good emotion, or it's not acceptable or deemed acceptable if I allow that to come to the forefront. But yeah, I'm in a process of trying to just be real with my feelings. If I'm angry, I need to sit with myself and admit to myself that I am angry and allow myself to go through the motions. So yes, there is some masking of emotions and feelings when you're by yourself, because you just, not every time you feel like dealing with yourself. So yeah, definitely have experienced that before. There's like, it depends on what the theme or where we go with the poem. There's like a different mask to put on. Like if it's a really like um, a rather melancholic kind of poem, I would like, if I'm going to perform that, I have to like psych myself up almost, put on a mask and like think about things or people who kind of like exude that kind of mood so that I could be able to express that in some way. I feel as if that generally, I'm not like a, a mopey kind of person, but through my art, I feel as if I have to take that mask or use that version of myself in order to convey those emotions clearly and coherently to the audience. And that masking, that plays more, like I say, it goes with whatever the poem is giving is what the mask is giving. So if I'm angry, I need to channel or put on a mask of somebody or something that's angry. It's all a version, different versions of myself. But yeah, I have to put on a mask to match the theme or the energy of the poem when I'm going to perform. So yes, it's definitely more so a performance within a performance within a performance. For me personally, I am very mindful of what I wear. What I wear is sometimes limited or confined, depending on where I'm going and who the audience or who's going to be there. So, in order to protect myself, I have to dress a certain way or put on or tone down myself. My fashion or my personal style is very much more feminine, flamboyant, gender fluid, that kind of thing, androgynous. But I know if I'm going to a space that's like predominantly heteronormative, I would have to tone myself down a little bit just so that I don't have to worry about fighting anybody. I mean, I will if I need to, but I don't want to go there with that intention. I want to look good and have fun. Growing up, especially like in my teens and stuff like that, I would never, teen me, but only dream of dressing like how I dress now. So, and I think that was a mask I put on to like appease family and stuff like that. Now, as an adult, someone who like, take care of themselves, pay their own bills and stuff like that, I don't care anymore. So I dropped that mask of, dressing and toning down to appease family, and now I pick up my more authentic mask of dressing to appease myself and please myself, like, get into it.